The time has come, and so have we. Pause. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Podcast. I'm your host, sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood, Zach Stat Pearson. And today, I'm joined by he who may scare demons, a one scare shuffle.
Ooh, I have a variety of opinions.
Oh man, that was hilarious. Next up, he who has mastered the formula to baby formula, a one Pike.
City Morgue, you kill him, we chill him. How may I help you?
And of course, my phone, right when I hit the damn mute button. That has happened so many times, I'm not even mad. It's kind of funny. And next up, we have the good Dr. himself, the future master of Doctor Strange and Marvel Tokon, a one Jupiter Exile.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure to have you. And of course, here comes a new challenger, or I guess technically in this case, a guest star. Hailing from the land of the rising, it's too damn hot in the summer, aka California, we have the swole chocolate bar himself, a one Black Ace.
Hello, everybody. I'm Black Ace. I'm originally from the Bronx. I lived there for 20 years. I just on the West Coast now for work. But yeah, I make costumes. I lift weights. And I'm mostly into the FGC and gaming space.
You and I need to connect after this.
Oh, have you never been to like major events like Evil? Or...
I've been to Combo Breaker. It's more the Bronx piece.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to be here.
Happy to have you. Well, when you're not getting oogled at by many women of a marriageable age, why don't you tell these good people on the internet where they can find your social media or whatever you're comfortable with?
I am Black Ace Cosplay on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not calling it the new name. And TikTok. I barely upload on TikTok. I'm trying my best to be there more. But yeah, I'm on all apps as Black Ace Cosplay. My username is a reference to Mega Man Star Force 3, Black Ace. I love that game. Battle Network is basically a fighting game in its own right.
Battle Network is
I will not.
I hate that you're right about that.
I don't. I'm glad I'm right about that.
No, not you. I meant him saying that Battle Network's essentially a fighting game.
All right. So, just for the audience who are looking at this via the audio version, I'm going to go ahead and read off the topics. First off, no, the title of this video, whatever it ends up fucking being, I don't know yet, is not clickbait. There is a rumbling of Devil May Cry, and we ain't talking about no Titans. So for the uninitiated, it goes without saying that in a normal company, if an extremely successful title concludes in the gaming world, there's a high probability that very early on, or at least nearing the end of its promotional cycle, pre-production starts on the sequel. Devil May Cry has never been that lucky. Honestly, mirroring its little sister Bayonetta, you don't know when the next thing is coming or how the next thing is coming. So, what has been a rumor for the longest time is that there will be a remake of Devil May Cry. More particularly, there will be a remake of Devil May Cry 1. The problem I have with this salacious rumor is that it wasn't based off of Capcom's traditional snitches. For those who don't know, which I think all of us do, but the audience might not. Hey, look, Capcom had snitches in tow for 20 years. It's not even a joke. Capcom has had snitches that work for them for 20 years. That's not going to change anytime soon. In fact, they've done nothing but multiply. I don't know any that have actually been caught. So that assumption of a rumor was based on the fact that Hideki Kamiya, the original director of DMC1, is finally back at the company. That is not something that is confirmed. That is just an assumption that got popular. However, there have been supposedly AI-generated leaks or made-up Photoshop quote-unquote leaks of a Devil May Cry remake or next game going into production. So, essentially, what I want to ask everyone here is the following questions, which apparently I fucked up the numbering to. Number one. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Do you feel like Devil May Cry 1 should get the remake or a different game in the number series? As in, do you want one to get a remake or a different game to get a remake? And yes, you can say, no, I just want a 6 if you want to. Again, no wrong answers. Should they add more demon weapons or just change how they function in combat in this remake? Do you think we should get an extended story relating to Trish, or should she be kept a mystery? What modern comforts and alterations would you like to see? Do you think the story should extend past Devil May Cry 1, maybe adding some extra story chapters? What do you want to see as a mini games or extra game modes? Do you think they should add some form of cooperative play or keep it as is? I feel like y'all already know my answer. What differences would you like to see in the stage and environments? If you could talk to the person in charge of the supposed remake, what would you say to them? Now, all that being said, real quick, I just want to let everyone know that the way we format this is whoever is the designated speaker, everyone else should be on push to talk. Voice activity is not a bad thing normally, but in this case, it can be, because even if you don't interject or you out-talk someone who's designated speaker, what if your background overtakes them? So that's the main reason we do that. You know, I trust you guys, I respect you guys, but like I said, you know, the easiest way to go through this, especially with the amount of people that we get, is if we make sure everyone gets their proper amount of allotted time. All right, now with that being said, I am going to go to push to talk, and Pike, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you kindly. Okay, let's see. Let's address the devil in the room. So this is Devil May Cry discussion, and we're going to start off with number one. Questions why or why not? We're going to start off with number one. So, do I feel like Devil May Cry should get a remake or a different game in the Numbered series? There has been, in the past, 5 years, 35 plus remakes / remasters of video games. I'm sick and tired of playing 25-year-old games with a new coat of paint and nothing else but microtransactions. I'm tired. I'm over it. I need new content. I need some creativity in the industry, and I need it to not be leaked immediately after somebody just, I don't know, writes down their idea on a napkin at the company and leaves it on the table. I need to be surprised by the industry again, but that's a whole nother tangent. I'm sure will be a topic on another day. But as far as the next Devil May Cry game, I feel like it should be a continuation in the Number series, because Devil May Cry, the last one, did gangbusters. People love that game, and not just mechanically, not just the fact that the game was put together well. It was chock full of meme bait. I got a picture for some reason. This picture's 2 years old, but I still have a picture of Virgil sitting in a lawn chair. They did something right with this game. That addressed that.
I love the chair so much. I actually made a Marvel 3 mod to make that an intro animation. So yeah, this game has staying power.
I thought the chair was the greatest light toad in history.
Yeah, it's so good. As far as the weaponry, Devil May Cry, this series of franchises is known for changing it up as far as the way you can actually engage in the enemies in the game with weapons and stuff. As far as more demon weapons, there's been probably, if I sat there and thought about it, there's probably been 6 or 7 demon weapons that we've got that've had one function. I feel like if they gave us more options or more functions to use the weapons in combat and outside of combat, which this will tie into one of the later points I want to make, but in combat and outside of combat, if they just open Pandora's box on how these things can be used creatively, I feel like
very good pun.
I'm glad you caught that, because I was going to say something.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's going to catch it in here if we're talking about Devil May Cry. But yeah, just the fact that Pandora's box was a weapon in the game, you can only do so many things with it, combat wise. Uh, I feel like they're leaving a lot on the table with not having multiple functions for weapons, at least more than one function. And this is like, I guess there's a level of bias for me because like appliances in my house, it can't only do one thing; it has to do more than one thing. So, the creativity with the devil weapons, I feel like they're leaving a lot on the table. They could do more. But even that said, if you go for the story aspect of the games or a possible game, I feel like on the topic of Trish, I feel like her mystery is kind of, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but the mystery relating to Trish's appearance and Dante and Virgil's mother, I feel like that's like her only that's her only like staying power. That's the only reason besides her holding Sparta's old weapon. That's the only reason she should even come up in conversation. I'm not a really big Trish fan, but what I mean, look, sue me. I just if we knew why she looked like their mother, I feel like she would be even less interesting unless they like wow me, which I don't think they'll do. But if they manage to pull it off, more power to them. But I don't think they can. So I don't think they should throw their hat in that ring and try and like, you know, tackle that. I don't think it's going to work out well for them because they risk more of ruining the character if they fail of trying to explain her backstory than just having her as a character, like just there, like just look pretty next to Lady. I'm not like, I'm good on Trish. Let's see. As far as controls go, or I'm sorry, modern comforts or alterations, I would like they dabbled with a little bit of cosmetics in the last game with Nero's upgrades for his arm. Like they were visually appealing. I did like them, but I feel like there should be a little bit more variety when it comes to like visual flair for the characters. Like that's optional. I would like, if we ever get Virgil again, I would like to see which was it, Devil May Cry 2 Virgil when he was possessed.
One.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 1 Virgil when we didn't know exactly who he was, but
Angelo.
Yeah, he had drip. He looked sick. And all 14 polygons of that model looked amazing. I want to see that in HD. Not a remake HD. I want like an unlockable costume in the next game or something, you know? Something with like give Dante unlockable costume for his Devil May Cry 3 appearance, you know? Hell, give him ugly Dante from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't care. Just give me options. Let me change the color of his damn jacket or something. I don't know. Do you think they should extend past Devil May Cry in 1 and maybe add more chapters or something? Yeah, I think they need to extend past Devil May Cry 1. I think as much as we love Dante and Virgil and Lady and Trish and, you know, the whole kit caboodle, I feel like it's another instance of leaving money on the table with not going full send with Nero since Devil May Cry, what was it, 4? Yeah, they
4 was his introduction.
Yeah, and I think that's the most. Even in 5, they didn't go full send with him in 5. I feel like they're scared, either scared or they're what's the word? It's Ryu syndrome. Like every Street Fighter, yeah, every Street Fighter entry, there's a new protagonist, but Ryu's always like he's cleaning up. He's always in the wings, waiting to pick up the pieces when the new protagonist doesn't land with the
Because they keep making a fucking blonde buff guy with a personality that doesn't match their fucking standing. They've never not made someone who wasn't a old ass stereotype that only exists in Japan. And you can quote me on that.
They did Rashid, but Rashid's also kind of dookie, so he didn't do anything.
He wasn't a main character. He wasn't even a main character. He was DLC.
No, in 5 he DLC in 5.
Yes, and so was his stage.
Oh yeah.
He was just in the story, and then we got him later.
Wasn't he he was a pro tag of the story, but he was like
he was a DLC edition, bro.
Yes, he was like a narrator in the story. He wasn't the main character. That's why you heard his voice so much. He was a narrator.
Oh, okay. I didn't really care for the story, so I didn't commit it to memory. But like the same, like you get my point. Like near Dante and Virgil, they're sick. They're like iconic characters, but they got Ryu syndrome going on. Like they're there to not hold Nero back, because I don't think Nero's being used incorrectly. I just think he's being wasted. Like they could put him on a solo adventure or solo story that has nothing to do with Virgil and Dante. That's just my opinion on that. I don't really care for the like mini games. The only way I can think of doing mini games is like score attack or something like that for Devil May Cry, but I think they've already done that at one point. But as far as extra game modes, and this like ties into the point after this, but extra game modes, I would like to see a pseudo, and stick with me here, this is a little pipe dream kind of feverish idea, but I would like to see some type of pseudo arena fighter type of vibe. Like I don't know if anybody here has ever played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. No. Birth by Sleep on the PSP, they had an online game mode, like local online game mode, where you pick Terra, Aqua, or Ventus, and you would fight each other in the Keyblade armor. With you would fight each other like you were fighting an NPC or something like that, and you would fully fight each other. But it was obviously an action RPG. I want something kind of along the same vibe that, you can go through the story and stuff like that and unlock different weapons, different abilities, costumes, stuff like that, and take that online and like fight like you're fighting an NPC, do your sickest combos and stuff like that, get, super smoking style combos on each other with a life bar like normal, but it's like an arena fighter. Or, and people love Dark Souls, you could do a pretty wide open world story and just have I don't exactly know how the Soulsborne games do online, but from what I've seen, you could just be walking across and somebody's translucent character, or you can join somebody's game and fight a boss together, or somebody's game and they'll like kill you or something like that. I don't know the details of it, but something from what I've seen along those lines, if I'm just like doing a platform puzzle and Devil May Cry or something, or if I'm doing like a regular puzzle and somebody just comes and beats my ass and I got to like restart, yeah, that could be frustrating for some people, but like, I don't know, I feel like if there's going to be a extra game mode, it's going to be a I need to whoop somebody else's ass game mode. Because I can only juggle NPCs, but for so long before I go play something like I can actually whoop somebody's ass in. But yeah, cooperative play that could play into that too. You know, that leaves an opportunity for if they make a Nero centric or centered game, like with Dante and Virgil not even as background characters, but like as maybe unlockable characters or something like that. Like they don't play into the story at all, and they introduce more characters that have more to do with Nero than anybody else that can fight.
May
I feel like
interject here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds like you're trying to describe like Sonic Adventures 2 with their whole multiple like characters had different stories, and each one had a good length of each character.
Yeah, I mean that's a good example.
Instead of jumping between characters.
That's content right there. People would pay buku bucks to play that, in my opinion.
People still talk about Sonic Adventures 2's story structure till this day.
Yeah, because why did they call it Sonic Adventure when it's not a fucking adventure? But I'm not gonna go there.
Okay. Well. As far as difference with stages and environments, I would like to see more puzzles. I would like to see more jump puzzles because a lot of people seem to neglect the idea that Devil May Cry is an action RPG with platforming and puzzles. People just, see the combos and they go for those. I would like to see those, and I'd like to see more verticality. I believe that's how you pronounce it in Devil May Cry. Like, you got air hike, use it. I need platforms again. We got to get back to make platforming great again. We got to get back to that. If I could talk to the person in charge, I don't even know what I would say to the person in charge if they were doing a remake other than don't make budget an issue. If you're going to make budget an issue, just don't do it. There's no point in disappointing people just because you want to penny pinch. We live in the age of technology. If they're going to force AI on us, you better use it to make a better game. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm actually surprised no one's ever thought to do that as an outro yet.
I see your points, but yeah, like the way you're describing gameplay, you could correlate it to other games that have came before it and see if they could build upon it.
I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from. I think when I start going through this, you're going to hear some of my points, because I kind of feel similar, but also the dead opposite to a lot of what you were saying, and I'm very curious what your thoughts are going to be after I kind of go into it.
And now you see why we don't do echo chambers. All right. Well, let's just get this out the way. All right. Second, but first up at the same time, go ahead and lay it on this Black Ace.
Alrighty. So when it comes to the Devil May Cry series, I appreciate it. I didn't really play until I got into 10th grade. And when I got it, I was like, okay, I'll play this entire story and try to complete it. So I have a lot of opinions. So question number one, do you feel like Devil May Cry 1 should get a remake? Definitely. Its graphics were ahead of its time, but now we're in the future. If we can get remakes on that, better clarity on how Dante's coat looks, the mechanics on how it flows. And if I want a new story, I think they should spend more time on that new story, because Dante, Virgil, they get tossed out to different IPs like candy. So people know who they are. But if we get a remake, I want Devil May Cry 1 and 2 to be released at the same time. Because 3 is the prequel, 1 and 2 could be a very good story. And plus 2 definitely needs a remake. in terms of like gameplay balancing, because you could just gun spam through the whole way through.
There's a lot of that game that needs remaking more than just the weapon system.
Yeah, yeah. It needs a. It doesn't even need a remake. It needs a remake and remaster.
No. They should just start from scratch, take the basic thread of the plot elements, and just go ham and actually make it good. Like, ignore everything it did originally. You can beat that game in 6 hours. I tried beating that game. I tried to find a way to make that game enjoyable. I played it drunk. And it was still bad.
You know what? Get Shadia here and into it too. But yeah. Remakes definitely need to be done. New story, I want to see how they do the remakes first, because they can follow like the Gears of War route, do a remake, and then add a new story. Should they add more demon weapons? Well, the demon weapons, the reason the Devil May Cry story is good is because it's based on Italian religion and Romanian and Roman styles of ancient Christian and Catholic stories. The devil weapons are based off devils from the Bible. I don't know how more they could dig deep into it, because they didn't really go into the angel side of it until they got to Devil May Cry 4 with Nero. But if they keep the same amount of weapons right now, I'm perfectly fine. If they remaster it and make it look cooler, because like my favorite weapons are like the gauntlets and the boots that Virgil and Dante uses. As long as they don't touch that and make it worse, I'm happy. And then Cerberus with the ice nunchucks. I like that. Let's see. Interesting. When it comes to Trish, not gonna lie, cool character. Cool because of mystery. Cool because like they have electric powers. I like my electric heroes, not because I'm black. Let's get that out of the way. I think electricity is a cool power to have. A lot of things you can do with it. Her using the Sparta's sword, cool too. The fact that she can wield all this power and we have no idea why, cool. I don't think we need to dive deeper into that. Leave Trish as Trish stands. If we do get side missions and we can play as Trish and we can do combos with that, I am down. I am game. And if we learn the mystery through Trish's POV, I am okay. I don't need Dante's POV. I'd rather just him be in the dark. Perfectly fine about that. Modern comfort and alterations. Devil May Cry game is very easy to get into. Like, I wouldn't say like how Elden Ring's design philosophy is. You choose how hard you make the game. Because Elden Ring is easy if you just do everything. But people complain it was hard. Devil May Cry, it's like you gotta learn how to walk, then you learn how to run, and then you learn how to throw a punch. It's very simple progression, and the boss difficulty is scaled by damage, speed, and what was it? The other factor? Oh, the attack pattern. Those factors are what dictates like game difficulty. Gamers nowadays are good. Kids these days completely cracked out of their mind. I remember I was doing volunteer work, and I was just to watch these kids play some games, and we put on Fortnite, and I'm just like, man, I thought I was good at games. I am seeing this kid move faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, no, the game should be targeted to like teens, adults, and people who will miss the franchise. The game will be, you can choose your difficulty. Devil May Cry, you can always choose your difficulty. So I don't think modern configurations or alterations really matter. Now, if the story extends in Devil May Cry 1, they could pull like a Halo 3. They made ODST, a bunch of different side missions. What if we had the main storyline and we adapt some missions that were from the Devil May Cry manga or the books? Like, we can adapt those as the side missions, because they made those books to keep people into the story, like things that didn't make sense, like how Dante got his guns and the person who raised him, and that could show a different POV. Because like in the anime, they just completely tossed that thing out, so people have no idea why those guns mean so much to him. They don't know. But yeah, like side missions, from the manga and the books and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys read them. Would be perfect. And what in terms of mini games? You know what mini game everyone likes? A fishing mini game. Dante fishing. I played it. I don't care. I'm sorry. Guilty Gear got fishing. That's why it's one of the best fighting
Just
games
out
in the
of
world.
curiosity, are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
Because mini games in Japan sell. You have no idea. When they make a good mini game in a main game, it just does better. I don't know why. It just does.
I think you're gonna like what I have to say about the mini games. Then I have a similar idea, but not in the same way you're thinking. That I think you'll be on board.
But yeah, combo meter score, because I remember when the Virgil combo video came out, people memed that thing to existence, and we have combo contests like we do at like the Smash tournaments. How people have those combo contests. But mini games like extra game mode would be great. Or versus horde mode, like who could get the best combo style, or Dante will die game mode where you fight until you literally die. No healing, no nothing. That'll be a fun game mode. Cooperative play? Huh? What is it?
Survival mode.
Survival mode, yeah. But yeah, like cooperative play, that's a tricky one because games with cooperative play do better. It will do better for the game. It is money on the table, but the spirit of Devil May Cry is in the solo gameplay aspect, and then like showing your friends, yo, check out this new game, Devil May Cry. You're basically blah 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 blah. Because I got my friends to play Devil May Cry into it when I like showed them like how religious heavy the theme is, and like you're a devil but you're really good, and then you show those gameplays. Like Devil May Cry success comes from word of mouth. And when it comes to cooperative games, if the word of mouth is not good and you play together and the co-op is buns, games usually die a little bit faster than that. But I would like to see cooperative play, and like with special moves. I'm playing with my bro. I pass him Ivory while he's playing Virgil, and we just say jackpot. Corny as it may be, still cool as fun. What's the difference with like seeing the stage environment? Stage environment, I am happy about like how Devil May Cry goes. So when to get recovery with the picture, when it comes to stage environments and the artwork, it's great because like you could see the different types of progression since like Devil May Cry 1 all the way to 5. Starting with 5 adopted the gothic look in terms of like design and the backgrounds and monsters, and more heavy introduced into black since the character V was introduced. How the storyline preys on Yamato's doing this. Are spoilers allowed? By the way, so how Yamato.
I don't think it's possible to hide anything.
Okay, yeah.
No, just do it.
So yeah, it's how the Yamato represents segregation. He made V, and how black everything was. 4, we got into the angel side, the Christian, the Catholic, the churches. The monsters were angelic, bright white. Most of the stages were twisted and corrupted churches, holy grounds. A lot of Italy design was in Devil May Cry 4. Then we go to 3, the prequel. It's the beginning. He's young, and all designs. It's all over the place. We're fighting different monsters to represent hell. We are falling off the Tower of Babel. Like we're referencing all these different areas. And then Devil May Cry 1 and 2, a little similar in terms of their stage design. More grotesque, monstrous, as the levels go on and on. But like when it comes to stage, I'm fine. I just want them to, like, when I look at it, I know what they're referencing. I know what they want to do. That's what matters. Because I could go and I didn't mind. Like, the shifts, each game has different shifts. Like, we have clear skies, dark skies, everything. I don't think there's one aspect of Devil May Cry in the entire series that they missed. If I could talk to the person in charge, what I'll say, what I said earlier, if they did a remake, 1 and 2 should be shipped together. It should be shipped together. 2 needs a combat update, and don't worry about like if the story doesn't make sense, if it's not enough, you can make a Reddit later. But don't ship a game incomplete, please. I'm tired of incomplete games, Grandpa. I'm tired. I want my game to be complete on release. Take your time. I can wait.
Totally
That's
get
all
it. The last complete Devil May Cry we got was 3, which that tells you something.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, before we go into our 2 resident thesauruses, I'm going to take my turn right quick. So let me come off push to talk. Testing, testing. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay.
We hear you.
All right. So, as far as question 1, I'm a little bit torn. And as we all know, when I am torn, I make 2 decisions instead of no decisions. My answer is both. I want Devil May Cry 1 and I want 6. Look how long they had to make me fucking wait just to go from 4 to 5. As far as I'm concerned, they should have been working on 2 whole ass Devil May Cries. Once they got the confirmation, they started working on 5 again. Okay? I want that Devil May Cry 1 remake, but I want some Devil May Cry 6 stuff waiting in the background. I don't care which one comes first. I want them both. I'm greedy like that. Now, number 2, yes, they should have more demon weapons. Yes. If we're talking a remake, yes, they absolutely should. However, yes, they should also change their functionality for the ones we already got. And no, I don't mean completely overhaul them and make them something different. I mean expand what is already there. Reminder, with the exception of Spiral, which didn't come till Devil May Cry 3, Dante has no ricochet weapons. His ricochet weapons begin and end with Artemis and Spiral. And technically not even really Spiral. That's a style of shooting with the gun. Artemis got that shit built in already. For those of you who are being a little bit confused, Artemis is the energy beam gun he gets that he attaches to his arm in Devil May Cry 1. The one that can feed off his devil energy. Imagine if he did that, but it also got some of the features and functionality it just in a remake of the version of his gun, I forgot what it was called, in Devil May Cry 3. You get the best of both worlds, because as far as I'm concerned, that is literally one of, if not the best gun Dante ever got. I just wish I could remember the name of it. Anyways, and also let's not forget, Alistair, as far as weapons go, I think Alistair is one of the only weapons that's appeared in multiple crossover games. It's one of the only weapons he's got that's appeared in multiple crossover games. Yes, electricity got refined when Trish came into play in the special edition version Devil May Cry 4, where she attained godhood, despite what some people think. But imagine if instead of just doing, oh, here's another sword that Dante has, it actually could shoot off electrical energy or electrical slashes over time. Instead of just charging it up in a backhanded slash. No. The more you fight, if enemies are close enough, you start hitting other people behind them. Maybe some type of projectile comes out or some type of spark explosion happens. Just, the world is your oyster, man. Because those weapons were so basic. They were so basic when they first showed up. They are long overdue for some modernization. Combat modernization. And I'm siding with everybody. Yeah, hell yeah, I think we should get an extended story. But I don't want to limit it to just, hey, here's some Trish modes. I want, as I believe Pike already mentioned, I want a little bit or maybe just 1 or 2 chapters where we get to see the actual moment where Virgil loses the fight to Mundus. Yes, his name is Mundus, not this Mundus bullshit. And when he loses that fight, we get to see the birth of Nello Angelo. And then, later on, when we beat him again, or maybe once Trish officially betrays us, during the ending of the game, and we're going in that helicopter, she explains to us, because Dante just realizes, so do you know what happened to Virgil? And she explains her origin story in detail. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard. You don't even have to make a cutscene. You should totally make a cutscene. You could have her explain it in 3 or 4 paragraphs, their whole entire little origin story. Because I'm tired of, after all these decades, yeah, I said decades, the only thing we know was that, well, by the time I came along, Virgil didn't really talk. He was kind of Mundus's right-hand man, wasn't really one for speaking. That's it. That's all we get. And somehow V, who theoretically has the memories of Virgil, doesn't even know why Trish looks like Trish or what his time with Mundus was like. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe it's in those little monster things. And what does the little bird say? Oh no, we're just we're the nightmare part of his memories. He doesn't need to remember us. We don't want him to remember us. So then how the fuck is he forgetting everything else? But again, coming to Devil May Cry and expecting, I don't know, a mature gothic story is kind of like a fool's errand. They got very, very, very lucky with Devil May Cry 3. But the reason they got lucky was because the story was so simple, there was almost no room for error. It wasn't because they had some masterful script supervisor and writers. They've never had that on Devil May Cry. You ain't got to go far to find plot holes in Devil May Cry. Yes, it was themed after and based on Dante's Inferno. But the level to which they borrow from it depends on the game at this point. All right. Now, as far as modern comforts and alterations, I'd like to see, first and foremost, stop forgetting Dante's supposed to be able to run off the fucking walls. Stop. Like, it is so stupid that they're acting like it's just an okay thing. They've even gone in interviews and said, oh, well, we forgot again. We'll tell you guys what, next time we'll make him do it in the next game. I'm like, bitch, we have patching. You could have got that done before Devil May Cry 5 came the fuck out. I honestly feel like there's some type of thing that they don't want us to do attached to it at sometimes. I really do. But we just don't know or get told what it is. Double jump should be on everything. Just make it an unlockable function. Double jump should be on everything. In fact, don't even put double jump on a weapon. Make double jump something Dante can unlock. They did it in 2. Why not do it here? Also, that is a modern, I guess semi-modern functionality I want to see. I want to see Dante get alterations that are not tied to a weapon. They started on it in Devil May Cry 2, and then they never went back to it. Now, for those who don't remember, because that game was a painful memory for a lot of people, or your friends just like you enough to tell you to skip it, Dante and Lucia could get an amulet that modifies their demonic traits. But it also worked when they were in their human forms. Well, Dante's human form. I don't know what you would classify Lucia as. She's a unique situation. So you could have Dante fighting and swinging a weapon with electric element properties or ice element properties, or you can make it so he can fly longer, glide longer, double jump, all types of stuff. It was basically a very small materia system like from Final Fantasy VII. Bring that shit back. But then blow it out like Final Fantasy VII. Imagine if instead of, depending on the weapon you like, you get unique combos that you can come up with as a player. We all could be different based on what amulet modifications we have and how many slots we have. Black Ace could be the Dante that's got full acrobatic capabilities. He can triple jump, he can slow fall, he can fast fall, he can teleport in any direction, and he got the equivalent of Trickster without Trickster style existing. But then we go over to Exile, and Exile is nothing but ice damage. Dante takes less damage. He gets a special counter or parry since he's 100% ice with all of his weapons, and the special techniques that only show up if you are 100% ice on your character. And the demon form even has ice elemental influence. How fucking cool would that be? And I know none of y'all thought of it. And you're welcome. I know you're going to love thinking about it.
I hate that I didn't think about that. That actually sounds like a very good hack and slash system.
Yes. And of course, to make it fair-ish to the bosses, the amulet system gets reduced dramatically when you fight a boss, or it's disabled through some means when you fight a boss. It's whatever. But yeah, those would be the major changes I would want. Outside of chapter select, where you can start a chapter as any character after you beat the original game, because that is still the biggest thing that pisses me off with 5, and I can't even get any of the Devil May Cry modders to answer my question about, hey, listen, could you do this? I don't care if I have to pay you, but can you do this? Because it doesn't seem like it's that hard. As long as you give every character the ability to use those jump pads or grapple pads, then theoretically any character can go through the entirety of anybody else's chapters. Do you know how much I would love to play the game 100% as Dante or Virgil or V, which I know is redundant, because those are the only characters that matter. Moving on. So, as far as mini games, wait, did I skip something? Oh yeah, story stuff. Yeah, extra chapters. No, I already did that. Yeah, as far as mini games, look, I hate to say it, but y'all done stole my answers, Black Ace. So I can't really say a survival mode.
Hey, we're birds of a feather.
Yeah. So other than a survival mode, like I said, just a co-op, offline co-op, because everybody was so pissed when they showed us that in Devil May Cry 5. One of the only things we truly wanted to be permanent. They introduced it in 3 as a secret, and it never showed up again. And then here comes the trailers for 5. I called my friends up. We were pre-making plans before the game came out. Then we found out, oh, if you hit the pause button, you can't do it. Oh, and unless you got the PC version where PC modders actually do it the correct way, it's basically a waste of fucking time. And then the game forces you to try to figure out how to route yourself to the person to work with them side by side. And the characters don't even have any acknowledging words or anything. Bro, so fucking pissed. So fucking pissed. So yeah, actually put it in. It doesn't have to be canon. After I beat the game, now I can play with Dante and Trish, or I can play Dante and Nello Angelo. And then as an extra super secret, I can play as Dante, I can play as Nello Angelo, or Virgil. Matter of fact, fuck it. Make a DLC where V's playable, no story mode needed. No canon story mode needed. And then, and it's crazy. It's right there. Maybe throw in Lady too. We can get Lady, Trish, Dante, Nello, Angelo, and Virgil, and V. The only characters that matter, all in one game. Playable. Because that's all you need. There's no room for dead weight on this ship. But that's as far as I got as far as minigames. However, now this technically is not a question, but since we're on talking about minigames, if you don't take out that fucking harpoon underwater minigame bullshit, oh my god, I hated that. Why am I on a fucking pirate ship underwater shooting a damn harpoon? I didn't mind the underwater stages. Know what? That's a better one. Make a minigame where your character or every stage is pseudo underwater, so the physics are different. The way your weapons work are different. You know? Anything but that underwater first-person harpoon shooter bullshit. Hated it so much. So yeah, I keep it simple and addictive, which is what a minigame should be. And well, that already answers my number 7 question. Do I think there should be co-op? Yes. Anyone with a brain thinks there should be co-op. Now as far as stage and environments, sadly, I do not think they're perfect. And I think they are slacking on purpose, which is kind of annoying. So, one of the earlier interviews, I can't remember what he exactly said, but I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Hideki Itsuno, not to be confused with Kamiya, stated that he will miss the stage design and development style of the environments that came with DMC 0. Why? Bitch, you can still put that in the new fucking games. No one said it 100% had to be the Gothic architecture. No one said it had to be mid-century European only. I mean, the first stage, 80% of it, 70% of it, you're in a fucking modern street in Britain or in Europe somewhere. a nondescript part of Europe. What the fuck is the problem? Second stage, same thing. 80% of this stage is a modern train system, and then it goes a little bit gothic near the end. And then the stage after that, oh, you're on a dock fighting a giant robot-looking demon, Gilgamesh. Okay? Like, what the fuck you mean you have to have it look this way? No, the fuck you don't. The producers didn't obligate him to make the environments look like that, and I'm offended by the concept of an exploding red barrel in any video game that came out after 2005. Okay? That shit is a no-go. You can make an explosion, or if you want to do environmental hazards and interactions, which I would love to see, you ain't got to make them that goddamn obvious.
It's Capcom, the yellow paint people.
Yeah, well, Square Enix is guilty of that shit too. But, bro, I'm like, the closest we got to a stage interaction normally is the spikes in Devil May Cry 3 when you go through the maze rooms. And, oh, you can occasionally go to a place where you can knock an enemy off a ledge if there's not an invisible red barrier. You can do better than that, Capcom. Why can't I do high time, let them hit the ceiling and they take wall damage? What if I hit them near a fluorescent light? They get electrical damage. Okay? Exploding red barrels, and they're only in like 2 stages too? Nah, fuck that. Also, no empty containers that you can destroy. Did anybody else find it a little bit weird in Devil May Cry 5 when you're in the Hell chapters and the Clive chapters? They have these little cocoon items, containers, strewn out throughout the entire stage, and all of them are empty? I'm not the only one who found that weird, right?
I think they just forgot to put shit in it and no one complained.
Shit, I did. So yeah, that's where I would go with the environment. Be as creative as you want to. You don't have to necessarily be destructive, or you can be destructive. Use some environment warping like you did in DMC Zero. Literally one of the only things that people objectively like. Other than the fact that, oh, to traverse the stage, he just has to hook on a bunch of shit and swing. I'm like, why not just give him a jump pad? Somebody and Devil May Cry obviously played a lot of Sonic games. Just give him a jump pad. Now, if I could give a message to whoever's going to be in charge of Devil May Cry 6, hypothetically, and Devil May Cry 1 reboot. Number 1, Hideki Kamiya, if it is you, I already know I'm wasting my breath, because if I ask you something, you're either going to say okay or block people. He still does that, I promise you. But I want to at least have one chapter where, if we're not playing as Sparta, maybe consider DLC where we play Sparta and actually live a day in his life. Because as a reminder, the original secret character, singular, in Devil May Cry 1 was Sparta. But he was essentially a palette swap who used the Yamato. And the Yamato was shorter. I don't know how that happened. But I wish you the best of luck. And I hope, for the love of God, you don't spend 5 or 6 years on it and have a bunch of cut content and then tell us about it. Because every single time he's been involved or in some seat of leadership outside of Devil May Cry 1 with these action games, Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 3, mind you, he's held different positions in all 3 of those games. The first thing we learn is that there was a bunch of cut shit. And what did we learn from the last 2 Devil May Cry games? The canonical ones. Bunch of shit was cut from 4. Bunch of shit was cut from 5. 4 has the excuse of Capcom mandated that it had to be multi-platform, which means they had to do Mad Dash Rush. Plus the producer found out that Hideki Itsuno, one of the only things this man has ever done that genuinely pisses me off, was literally trying to erase the importance of Dante and make it so only Nero was fucking playable, which is stupid. It's very stupid, and went back and forced him to make Dante playable. Okay? So production was all kinds of whacked out for the weirdest and oddest reasons. Let us get an actual complete game. Yes, you can make a definitive edition later, maybe add some non-canon story modes and DLC shit. I'm okay with that. That's what they always do any fucking way. But if we're not getting everything we wanted, or that you wanted, and you know we wanted it, and it was going to be cool, don't tell us. Don't tell us. Now, to the person who's making Devil May Cry 6, which I think might actually be Hideki Itsuno, because what is he going to do once he's done with Okami? He's going to do something. It's either going to be God Hand, Beautiful Joe, or Devil May Cry. Look, if you put in co-op, so help me God, if that co-op is not offline formatted, if that co-op is the same bullshit that you pulled in DMC 5, that'll be the last Devil May Cry I ever buy. And I may cry. I'm not joking. I've learned very quickly that the industry don't respect me, they respect my wallet. Okay? For every one developer, for every one designer, for every one director who loves their craft and know how to make a good game and wants to make a project that they don't feel ashamed of years on into their career, there's what, 4 or 5 several C-suite executives above them that'll fuck it up, claim it's for profit, and then when it fucks up because they have bad ideas, it's everyone else's fault except theirs. I'm done with that. I am done with that. And I'm sick of it. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. All right. So before he blows his load, Scare Shuffle, your turn.
Was just turning off push to talk. Okay. Alright. I encourage being questioned on this, because I have a couple different thought processes on this. And I think they're a little out. I don't know if they're out there, but... So the first thing is, do you feel like Devil May Cry 1 should get the remake or a different game in the numbered series? I'm kind of with Zax, and I would say both. And also, before I proceed, I should specify, I still have not played DMC Definitive Edition with Dante, and I still have not played DMC 5. I'm working on it. But... yeah, but I hear the combat's good in the Definitive Edition of DMC 0, and I want to give it a shot. So, the story is horrible, I know. I don't care about that in this case. But anyway... I do want that remake, and here's why, though. And I want that first. And the reason I say that is... First is, I played that game recent-ish. I guess 8 years ago isn't really all that recent. But I still remember it pretty damn well. And I played DMC 2 not long after, about 2-3 years after that. And my opinion on it is essentially that game is crusty as shit. That game, it's fun. It's great, but it's crusty, because it's the first hack and slash. At least, like, the first big hack and slash that a lot of people will say is the start of the genre. And because of that, there's a lot of jank things with the combat. There's things that are kind of clunky, they don't feel great, it really was not perfected, and feels even close to what we're used to today until DMC 3. Not even close. And I've played my other fair share of hack and slashes, I've played your Bayonettas and the like. I play a lot of, like, character action games, quote-unquote. And I think because of that, I think it's worth going back to it. And the story is cheesy, but I kind of want to see what a serious story is from back then. I want it to have the RE2 remake treatment, is essentially my thought process. Because I think the game is very deserving of it. So... that's my opinion on that. So, the second is, should they add more demon winds or just change the function in combat? I think they should just change the function. I don't mind adding mechanics like the one Zax mentioned earlier about the amulet, but I don't think they should, and the reason I say that is if they remake it, I want it to feel like it is still the same game. You still have the weapons. The map isn't identical, but it's very similar, so if you did play it, you can still kind of navigate it, like, again, how RE2 Remake does it.
Didn't you have some pictures you wanted to show us?
I couldn't find them. But, either way. But I think they should change how they work. Like, I think there should be more upgrades for the Devil Arms. They should maybe add in some mechanics and combos from later games to kind of make it a bit more interesting. Maybe make them function differently during Devil Trigger, so like it's more than just, oh, I'm using this weapon while in Devil Trigger and it's unique. Like, maybe change how it functions in Devil Trigger. Like, it gets, like, a demonic upgrade to Rebellion or the shotgun. Like, you could do so many cool, weird things with the shotgun. One of the most famous weapons in the series still. There are people today who still talk about that goddamn shotgun from DMC1 because it was so good. I feel like you could make some cool stuff out of that. So 3, do you think we should get an extended story relating to Trish, or should she be kept a mystery? I think we should, but I don't think they should reveal everything. And here's why I say that. I think, again, it gives you a good reason to integrate into the story. Like, there's a lot of times during... I don't necessarily think they need to reveal how was she made, how did she get here. Maybe hint towards it, but not outright say it. What I think they should do is, there are a lot of parts in that story where you're just doing stuff, and you're like, where the fuck did Trish go? What is she doing right now? I'd kind of like it to be like Batman and Catwoman were in Batman Arkham City, where you were kind of swapping between the main story, where there was like an actual narrative reason to swap. So it's kind of like you're in the middle of something, Trish, and make Trish more involved in the story. I don't think you need to reveal everything, keep her interesting, and then it leaves the door open for, like, a spin-off or anything like that if they decide to expand more. We don't know what happened between fucking DMC1 and DMC4. What was Trish doing? Exactly my point. Like, I think they should do something with her to open the door, but they should not answer all the questions, or many of them. They should, or if they do, it needs to create other ones. What modern comforts and alterations would I like to see? 1, get rid of the... Basically, I want the modern coat of paint. Like I said, a lot of the combat's clunky. I would like that to flow better and have more neutral combos, like from the first one. I would like the menu system to be a lot less slow. Like, I really just want all the modern niceties to make the old game. Because I want people to play DMC1, but I cannot tell you how many people... Well, actually, yes, I can. It's 3. 3 people I've tried to get into DMC... And some of them are into video game history in the same way. I'm like, okay, then you should play DMC1 just to understand where hack and slashes kind of started. And so many of them are like, I couldn't finish it, the controls are out of date. Or it's just like, it feels weird. They don't like the fixed camera, which eventually went away in a lot of the later games. Or at least, it was less restrictive. Honestly, like, UI and, like, little quality of life stuff, I leave that to, do they put the money in it and the time? Because all of that's polish. As for should it expand past Devil May Cry 1? My mentality is no. Or if they do, make it like a lead-in to Devil May Cry 2, and what I mean by that is, like, have, like, Lucia DLC that's, like, kind of a prequel to DMC 2. Type of deal. Yeah, that's again why I kind of would not be opposed to a Trish spin-off game. Or give me a Trish and Lady spin-off game. I'd be on board for that immediately. I did like the few interactions we got from them in DMC4, so... But, again... I don't know if it should, because I want to leave that door open for DMC2 to be fixed. Because DMC2 had some good ideas for the story and everything, it just did it shittily. Like, really shittily, due to a lot of reasons. That game was a development nightmare. But, either way, I think it deserves the remake treatment. If RE3 could get it, why can't DMC2? And I think you can improve it a lot, you can make the story fit better, and make more sense in the rest of the ongoing story of Devil May Cry. Like, find ways to relate it. You know, make the corporation like a former, cult of demons that were against Moon. Like, you can modify it, because right now the story is basically rich billionaire learns about demons and tries to become all-powerful. Come on now, you can do more than that. Plus, I'm kind of tired of that trope anyway. So, what do I see as mini-games or extra modes? So this is where I'm gonna piss off Zax, because, I want the Harpoon game. I want the Harpoon back. Let me elaborate. I don't want it back in the way it currently is. You know what that game kind of reminds me of? I don't know if y'all have played Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, of which they have openly said in the first DMC there was some Zelda inspiration in there, for obvious reasons. Exactly. There's a certain archery minigame and a slingshot minigame that kind of feels just like those harpoons. I think you could just make like a little minigame that you could do kind of like those little arcade areas in the middle of the game, and it's like just some random demon they create, and it's like, alright, have fun with target practice. And like, maybe it gives you a new weapon if you go that route, but like, I think you could do some cool things with that. Make it a fun little extra game mode. That's also where I kind of think it goes back to, what Black Ace was saying. That could be your fishing minigame is also my thought. You could make that your you can make it so you're shooting at fish. Demonic fish. Maybe make them do damage. Like, you can do so much with that. It's just make it a rail shooter even. There's a lot of options there. So before I proceed to Zach's, I want to hear your retort to that. I want to see if you see what I'm thinking.
Okay, well, I mean, now that you actually put a little bit of detail in it and you got that little Zelda inspiration out of the way, fuck you, no.
And Ace, what's your thought on that? I asked the room, what is the consensus on this idea?
Like I said, minigames in Japan sell really, really well. Like,
The new
look at
guy
Street
is
Fighter.
innocent. On principle, fuck you, Scare Shuffle.
I'm such a couch.
I'm not here for a shooting gallery minigame in my DMC. Nah.
No? Not even if it was turned into a rail shooter?
Maybe if it's a rail shooter.
That's what I'm saying. You could turn that into a rail shooter and kind of make a combo system out of that. You could make it like a hack and slash rail shooter.
You're a rail shooter.
Yes, we played Gungrave. Fuck you still.
Either way, moving on to the next question. Which is, do you think they should add, yes, they need co-op. I don't think I need to say anything else. I don't care if it's just even, hey, you have a second Dante on the screen. If Bayonetta 2 can fucking do it, so can you, Capcom. Like, come on. I don't care if you have to downgrade the graphics to do it. Fucking do it, goddammit. Like, not every game needs to look hyper-realistic. I'm sorry. If I have to give up some graphical fidelity to play two-player hack and slash, I'll do it. I don't care. Just make sure it's presentable.
I will never forget when they said that, I think it was Devil May Cry 4. Going from Devil May Cry 4 to 5, we made the decision to make sure our characters looked realistic, unlike how they did in Devil May Cry 4. I'm just like, bitch, who the fuck are you talking about? They don't look like cartoons in 4? They were talking about poor showing up in the characters in Devil May Cry 4. Bro, no one has ever woke up and said, man, these characters in Devil May Cry look too cartoony. I literally think that they don't understand the concept of art direction sometimes.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I mean, well, if you look at every single game, not a single one of them has a consistent art style. They're all similar. It's not consistent at all.
I never understood the pore thing. I don't want to see people's pores in real life, but makes you think I want to pay to see them.
Bro, we can't even see the pores when we're playing the game. Every single high-end action game, when the shit gets tough, the game lowers its resolution to keep the frame rate somewhat normal. Bayonetta was the worst offender, but Devil May Cry pretty much invented that shit. Once you get past Devil May Cry 3, well, technically Devil May Cry 1 and 2, every game in the series will lower resolution to maintain a higher frame rate. So who's gonna see them damn pores?
True. I mean, not just that also. The other thing is, most people can't afford the technology to make it so you can see them. I don't care if you have a PS5, you still need the right settings and the right TV for it to automatically do that. So, it's just stupid money wasted. Graphics don't mean what they used to. I'm sorry. In AAA industry. Get with it. Anyway, moving on. What differences would I like to see in the stages and environments? To be honest, again, I want the map to be... Maybe they expand it a little bit, but I want the map to be almost one-to-one in a remake. And the reason I say that is because, one, RE2 Remake did it. if they made the police station almost one-to-one with, like, different changes, like, yes, there's more sections added in certain places and things like that, but the overall layout of the place is the same. And I would like that, because there are iconic locations in that first Devil May Cry. The map was like a little Metroid, the game was a little Metroidvania-ish in that regard. Because Resident Evil games, some of them were like that, because it was originally RE4. So, I think they should keep that, because DMC1 is really the only game in the franchise that kind of kept that backtracking. I don't count DMC4, because the difference there is you play the game forwards and then you play the game backwards. No. I'm talking about you have a map, you interact with it, you unlock things, because kind of like what Pike was saying earlier. There was a puzzle element.
They did do that in every game except for 2. Here's the dumb part though. They don't actually tell you as a player you can do that after 1. So everybody, I've even met people to this day, they didn't learn until like 3 or 4 years ago. Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 4, even without changing to Dante, you can actually go backwards to every area you've been.
Yes, you can, but there's no reason to.
No, there's
no, you can't
find secret shit.
There isn't that much secret shit. Most of the time, you find the missions. If you do anything to go a little off the beaten path, you find the secret missions. And most of the secret missions, you can only unlock.
They are very well hidden. No. You finding them doesn't correlate to everyone else finding them.
I guess not. I guess maybe it's my Unk status. Maybe it's my Unk status. I look in every nook and cranny in games. I tend to do that. But either way.
Like, when Final Fantasy VII 3 come out, once they said that, oh no, there's no actual level gates and restrictions, so you could be level 10 and walk up and fuck around and go over to someplace with level 40 enemies, oh, I'm about to fuck some shit up.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? There is backtracking a little bit to a prior question, but there's a part of it that I kind of think would also help with giving you more reason to explore. So, I've recently been playing a game called Mina the Hollower, which for those of you who don't know, it's a follow-up game from Yacht Club Games, which made Shovel Knight, and it's kind of a mix of a top-down 2D Zelda with more action, and it's kind of Castlevania-esque. What they did in that game for customization, you can pause the game and go into the options, and there are so many modifiers you could apply to the enemies, to yourself, to the gameplay. There is so much, and it's just on a slider. So there's no easy, medium, hard. There's one level that we are kind of like, we designed it around, but make it as easy or as hard as you want. Like, change what elements you want. You have a certain thing.
So fucking smart. How did we not think of that?
Exactly. It's genius. And also, please go play Mina the Hollower. The game is $20. I don't know how, but that's my point. That game design for a hack and slash? Holy crap, the amount of challenge runs you could make. Like, just
literally never had that in any type of hack and slash or beat 'em up game at all. That would be so fucking insane. The closest we got was Legendary Dark Knight mode, which is an enemy multiplier.
Yup. Exactly. And like, that gives you reason. But either way, finishing up these stages and environments though, and like, you could use that modifiers to be like, oh, randomize the items. Have fun. Like, give us a randomizer, and if it just have it set to not soft lock you, or if it soft locks you, allow you to have the option to overwrite it. You know, it's not that hard. Just be like, oh, I don't have the key. Would you like to just open this door? Something like that, you know? Choice. But stages and environments, though, I just want a higher visual fidelity version of the old flat textured environments, because they look great. I still think they have charm to this day. And lastly, if I could talk to the person in charge of the supposed remake, what would you say to them? I'd say 2 things. 1, don't fuck this up and just do the bare minimum.
That was the last possible thing I would have expected you to say.
This is a AAA studio. I expect more than the bare minimum. And say it again.
That's it? That's all you would say?
No, I said there were 2 things. I said that was the first thing. The second thing is, please try with the story. And I know it should be a remake of the first one, But you could make that serious. You could make that good. Like, there's the cheesy line that everyone memes, and I still meme, I love joking about it, of, I wish you filled our I could have filled your dark soul with light. That line actually could go hard if you set that up right. The problem is they didn't.
Recorded. That is so great. I'm going to use this against you later.
Oh, I can do it more accurate if you'd like.
We don't have time.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, either way, I think you can make the story mean something. There are elements there, like, it's inherently tragic. Like, the manga, there's things that get added in there that you could add. Add the childhood kidnapping thing. Like, add some of that small things as a little prologue. Make the story for a modern audience. Because before it was just cheese, and we don't need that.
Imagine
Devil May
if the
Cry
opener was the day all the demons started pouring into the place. You see Ava fighting while the credits are rolling. And then, you know, she goes and hides Dante. She goes out to fight. And she thinks she sees Virgil dies. But then something impales her and stabs her. And it's like Mundus' hand grabbing her. Because apparently somehow Mundus knows who the fuck she is, which I still find weird. He theoretically shouldn't know who she is, as far as the story has been explained. And then right when it's all burning, Dante sees the house on fire. He runs out the back door of the house. But then Virgil wakes up and hits his devil trigger at like 11, takes out all the demons, and he walks in the opposite direction. Oh my God. Then it cuts to Dante going into his apartment, eating some pizza, and then it goes to Trish and we get the classic opening. You have no idea how many times I've replayed how many scenarios of opening for a Devil May Cry 1 remake have gone through my head. I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
No, I mean, that's not a bad way to start it. There's a ton of ways you could start the game, but I think you get the point. So, that is my opinion on there being a Devil May Cry 1 remake. I could talk about DMC 6, but I haven't really played 5 yet, and I want that anyway. And if they're gonna make one, evolve it. But I think people need to understand where the series came from, because there's a lot of new people who don't.
Okay, do you have a PS5 yet?
Yeah.
All right, Exile, take us home.
All right, let's get to it. So, question number 1, should it get a remake or a different game in another series? It should absolutely get a remake, and I think there are 2 big reasons why. When you have a long-running series like this, people deserve to be able to see how it started, the beginning of the story, without having to deal with a really clunky experience. And if you go back right now and you revisit DMC 1, it's available. It's not really fun by modern standards. It was really great in its time, but there are a lot of reasons to not enjoy it right now. And I think because people should be able to see the start of the story, they should be able to check it out. Even though it's not chronologically the start of the story, whatever. The other reason it should get a remake is because DMC 1 is kind of convoluted. It's really kind of clear that the game is made of stitched together assets that you go to for some reasons that aren't like super well set up within the game. So they really need to like do a little legwork to network things together better, give us reasons for doing the things we're doing other than like trying vaguely to get from some place to someplace else, and just make it a more cohesive, coherent narrative in the game. So they've done so much story sprawl and twisting across all of the other titles in the series that if they're remaking, they can kind of bring that stuff together, tame it, get under control, tell one story. Demon weapons, or changing how they function in combat. You do not have very many demon weapons in Devil May Cry 1. You don't even have weapon swapping. We should absolutely either get more, get different ones, get better stuff. You don't even have Swordmaster in original DMC 1. Like, there's very little combat function. There's not a lot of that expressiveness that you get, which really kind of blossoms in DMC 3. So we absolutely need like more options, more choices, more moves that can be done with each individual weapon. And the thing I have often had an issue with in DMC, going up as much as DMC 4, I still haven't booted up 5. A lot of the weapons don't really play very differently. Like, there's not a clear feeling of why you would use a particular weapon. So I would like to see different weapons excel in different ways. Something else they've always done is, generally speaking, your melee weapons are demon weapons, and for the most part, with a couple exceptions like Pandora's Box, your ranged weapons are usually just guns. Like, you have pistols and a shotgun that is just a shotgun. The shotgun doesn't even have, like, a name or anything. So maybe we could get some ranged demon weapons for once. Like, we start with a shotgun, and then halfway through the game, we get a demon shotgun, and it does demon stuff. I think that'd be pretty neat. There's just so much room for us to get something there. In terms of...
Am I the only person fucking tired of Dante getting a goddamn shotgun in every single fucking game?
Yeah, you're the only person.
Like
Everybody.
You are the only person, brother.
Wow. Oh, well,
Yep.
I mean, it's not like I hate him getting a shotgun. I hate him having a basic ass shotgun.
That's what I was saying earlier.
I read-
you
I
could do
read you
so
on
much
that,
cool
then.
crap with it.
I read
so
you on that.
You want a different model per game is what you're asking?
Or at least, like Exile was saying, let him get a fucking double shotgun.
Yeah.
Let him switch between like spread shots with it or like a direct giant blast. Like make it so you can swap the type of fire. There's so many cool
Yeah.
things you can do with the
Let's
shotgun.
load in, like, special anti-demon slugs that have, like, explosive rounds or something. Something crazy. Relating to Trish, or should she be kept a mystery? DMC 1 being the first kind of canonical game that we're supposed to be introduced to these characters. Dante and Trish are the first people we meet when we boot up the game, and within the scope of the game, within the contained story of that game, I need to know who these characters are and why I should care about them. So we've got a lot of material since then in DMC that tells us why we should care about Trish, but throughout all of DMC 1, playing through that whole story, there's nothing that makes me care about Trish. She's mysterious. She's the catalyst of the plot. She's the reason the story happens, and there's like nothing about her. So they absolutely need to fix that in remaking the game, telling the game differently. We need to see more about her. Some stuff needs to be revealed, whether we get cutaways to her perspective or things are enumerated clearly. Something's gotta be done. And if you don't get that stuff in, anything you leave a mystery means you have to remake another game where you're going to do that. So you're setting up a promise that you're gonna keep things going if you don't explain that immediately. I think back in the aughts, when I think DMC 1 was in the early aughts, whatever. Back then, you could leave something untold because you only had so much friggin' time to make the game. You didn't have like a huge team necessarily to get this together. Nowadays, like, you have so much money available to you to make a Devil May Cry game, you don't have to leave stuff unsaid because you couldn't hire a writer. Modern comforts and alterations. Holy crap, y'all. It is difficult to narrow down because DMC 1 is so old and it's so rough. And I want to echo one of the biggest things. Zach's mentioned this earlier. Removing some of the level ups from weapons
is essential.
Oh god,
It's super
level
weird.
4 gunslinger, and your only technique you get for the shotgun is shooting behind you. I swear to God, I was so pissed.
But especially the double jump. That's like the biggest one for me. Like, why is the double jump an upgrade on the sword? It doesn't make any sense. If you look at the way Nero upgrades back in DMC 4, you can upgrade like his dash behavior and little things that are about him specifically. Nero's upgrades are pretty clean because he only ever has the same sword and the same gun. He doesn't change his weapons, and you're upgrading the Devilbringer, that which is a part of him. So it's very clear how those are working. But in that same game, DMC 4, once you get Dante, every different weapon he gets, you have to unlock like the same button input on that weapon, doing something slightly different on that weapon. And then when you acquire the new weapon, because you have to unlock all this stuff, it means it's lame to use unless you throw a whole lot of your level up currency into that weapon to make it as exciting as the weapons you already had. That's dumb. When you find a new weapon, you should be able to be excited about it immediately. Bayonetta 3 absolutely had this problem. Made finding new weapons just a bummer and a chore throughout the latter half of the game. They keep shoveling this stuff at me, and I'm like, okay, this is like a fucking clock tower cannon demon that I can't get interested in because I'd have to like spend a whole bunch of experience on like making it work. So whatever.
Demon.
Yeah, this like, man, like Bayonetta 3 did go crazy on the designs, but it's not great.
Totally agree. In fact, this sounds kind of fucked up, especially as someone who likes Bayonetta, except for 3, but that's most people. I had a teacher give us an example of over designing. They went and scanned the Bayonetta 3 art book and showed us Bayonetta's character design. He goes, this has close to, if not 300 items that don't need to be there. That's not hyperbole. I counted.
That's just the way it is for them. Like, yeah, he's 100% true. But on the DMC, yeah, other modern comforts, man, you got to swap the menus. We need to like have maybe better delineations of the chapters, or an understanding of whether or not we're missing a collectible in a chapter. So if we're like, man, I'm missing 1 HP upgrade, we should be able to know from like the select screen which chapter it's in.
Hint system, and I agree, because you don't want to always go looking for something online on YouTube because you'll find a spoiler. We don't make strategy guides anymore unless you go to GameFAQs. So unless you're going to read for it on GameFAQs, you legitimately should have a hint system built into your game at this point. There's no excuse, Capcom.
Yeah, get us like a progress tracker type of thing, and then maybe like a late game upgrade gives us like a proximity pulse thingamajig when we're close to a secret. So don't give it to us on the first run through. But if we're looping back for completion, like there should be a little bit of give, stuff like that. Other modern comforts, I'd like to have just a place in game where we can replay any of the. I'd like to have a place in the game that is a combo training room where we can also play any piece of music that's in the game. I think they've included that in a couple of these. Other modern comforts. I want to be able to, in that training arena, spawn freely any enemies I've ever fought, so I can like run through test combats, watch their movesets, things like that. Yeah, sweet. So it's just the modern stuff that they did in 5. Honestly, they're just going to transpose the whole engine. And this is why you do remakes, because you make the new game with the new engine, the new moves, all the stuff, and you have this old story sitting around, and this old like reason to make a game. Why don't you just take that old stuff you have and put it in the new engine? Resident Evil's printing money right now, and I'm actually pretty excited that they're remaking Code Veronica, because I never want to go back to play like tank control old style Resident Evil for the sake of playing Code Veronica. But I am interested in what happens in that game. Like, I want to go up against the Nemesis, but I didn't want to do it until they remade Resident Evil 3, because I don't want to play the old style game. Moving on from there, extend past Devil May Cry 1, maybe adding some extra story chapters. The final boss of Devil May Cry 1 is cool, and it's a good end cap on that adventure. You could possibly do like one more duel chapter afterwards, the same way that DMC3 like ends with the duel with Virgil, stuff like that. But the places where you should be adding stuff is probably in the middle. Of course, I think the way the story flows in DMC1 just needs a complete overhaul, so it's maybe redundant to say like adding extra story chapters if my opinion is functionally you got to toss the whole story and make everything happen. There should be something that feels like a story beat in every single chapter. A chapter cannot just be about a place that Dante is going to. It needs to be about like something happening in that place that advances our understanding of Dante, our understanding of Trish, our understanding of the castle, Nello Angelo, what's going on, whatever. We need to actually get something everywhere, and that probably fulfills the need in terms of extra story chapters that I would expect. Minigames or extra game modes. I think it's pretty obvious that you need to have an extra game mode that is like a Survivor arena type of thing where you're just fighting waves of guys. They've had that for a long time in the series, so if that wasn't there, I'd be really surprised. In terms of a shooting gallery or a rail shooter, I don't know. That sounds like it might be kind of fun. I could maybe I could maybe mess with that because I like rail shooter games to a good bit. It might be a little extra. I don't know. Maybe like if you're flying around in Devil Trigger through like a, a, a demonic realm, like shooting guys, it could be cool. I don't know. I would like for them to have a rhythm game side bit where Dante is like dancing or playing an instrument or some bullshit because that is goofy and I think it would be hilarious and kind of like be a punchy little mid cut. But I'm also a weirdo and I really liked the elevator action sequences with Jean in Bayonetta 3. I actually found those to be kind of a highlight, even though they were silly and a lot of people didn't like them. So I think you can do some things like that. I don't necessarily want for it to be part of the main game. The other thing I would like in terms of extra game modes is I would like a speedrunner mode that cuts out all of the mid-chapter stuff, cuts down on the menuing, removes all the cutscenes, puts a timer on screen, and clocks your best time on a per chapter basis. So you can do like individual level runs and then also like full game speed runs. I think speed running is huge and cool and fun. I think DMC and Hack and Slackers are fun games to speed run, and they should lean into that and facilitate that with an alternate game mode. And extra playable characters are also, I think, within the realm of extra game modes. That's how that's been handled traditionally in some DMC stuff. Mostly in Castlevania, playing a different character is always considered an extra game mode, but I think it's lit. Yeah, give us a Trish mode where we play through the whole game as Trish. I don't necessarily need that to follow the same path we're doing for Dante. Maybe it puts you in like a slightly modified castle where if Dante has a traversal mechanism that Trish doesn't, then you just like put an extra staircase in or crumble part of the wall so she can get up it. Give her a grappling hook. Whatever you want to do, man. I don't know. But I think extra game modes is a good way to like put those extra playable characters in, so long as they feel sufficiently different. I really don't care much when they add an extra playable character, but he's just a palette swap, or it doesn't really like matter. It has to feel different. That's what's so good about playing Virgil in some of these other games, is that playing as Virgil does feel different from playing as Dante. Nero too. Nero feels different from Dante. That gives them both merit. I don't want to play characters that feel the same. Stages and environments. I want to have reasons to go places. I want that to be like experienced in a way that is story based. Maybe we go into a location because we're chasing after Trish. It's okay if we get like tossed off a building by Nello Angelo and have to like figure that shit out. But I want to know why I am in a place other than like, oh, this is a place that I was able to access. What's here? I would like to have more variety in the color palettes of the stage designs in a lot of cases. We mostly just have like kind of gothic grays and reds going through the original DMC, and I think some of those limits you design for the PlayStation 2, you put everything in an enclosed space because draw distance is a bitch, and you don't want to render like far off stuff. You don't need to worry about that anymore. You can add more complexity, more general things. And I am a red barrel enjoyer. There needs to be bullshit in the environment that I can slam people into that will explode. I want to be able to like pick up stuff and throw it at dudes. I want for there to be like tables and things that I can flip over that they can like act as cover while I flip them. Like all attacks in that zone that's got a spinning table are going to get blocked. And then I want to kick that table at a guy because I'm Dante and he's done that stuff in cutscenes. I want to actually do that in the game. Having an environment that's dynamic, that has these kinds of features that you can interact with, breaks up the way the combat feels, makes you feel better for interacting with and engaging stuff, and actually makes you kind of like pay attention to the game. So if we're still on the pirate ship, I want to be able to actually like grab one of the ropes of the pirate ship, take a swing, like drop kick an enemy coming in swinging off of a rope. I want to be able to like pull up the anchor and whip it at a guy and have him fly off the other end of the boat. I want to see stuff like breaking and being handled by Dante and I want to like finesse our way around obstacles. Like if I dash into a pole, maybe I could hit an extra button and Dante like whips around it and slices through a guy as he comes off the other side of it. There's so much you can do with it because Dante is, in theory and in cutscenes, that kind of fluid character, but that doesn't always get delivered on. But way back in the day, there was no way to create these kind of interactable assets apart from, this is an explosive barrel. And nowadays, we can do a lot more stuff with parts of the environment that you can dynamically engage with, like more breakable windows, more pick-upable objects, and other bullshit like that. Let me drop a chandelier on somebody. If there is a chandelier, it needs to fall. That's just... it's just obvious. All right. Hell yeah. And if I can talk to the person in charge of the supposed remake, what would I say to them? They probably already have got it. But for me, there are two things that are going to really give this game staying power, give it some punch, and that is that you need some killer goddamn music. You need to have an iconic track for the game. People were all over Devil Trigger when that dropped. We need another banger. And the other bit, there have to be big, memeable, reactable moments in the game. And you're not going to get that from the drama. You usually get that from stuff that is, like, cool or silly. And the moment from DMC5 that I see, like, reacted to and memed on the most is absolutely, like, the Michael Jackson dance bit. Give me something like that. I don't care if it, like, breaks up the moment or isn't, like, really in line with what else is going on in the game. I don't care what you have to add to make it happen. Get something in there that people are going to lose it over. Drive the clips to YouTube. That's what you gotta do. All right, that's my piece.
All right. Everybody can go to voice activity. Oh my.
That was really well put together. Put together.
Yeah, well, I mean, not to, inflate his ego too much, but there's a reason Exile is here, and half of it is because he probably had a fucking writing degree in a past life. So, yeah. I pretty much, like everything everyone said, like 90% of it. We got to primarily avoid using the N-word, and on top of that, Nero, and on top of that, I found out I am not the only person who fucking hates that shooter unnecessary underwater mini harpoon bullshit. So that's always good.
Most people do.
I mean, back then, you didn't even have weapon swap. It was the fucking worst. You had to go into the menu to equip this thing for 2 screens.
Oh my god, I forgot about that! See, that's why we need the remake.
You did, but they didn't advertise it, and you could only do one other weapon at a fucking time, which was kind of dumb to me. And they didn't even put it in the fucking instruction manual either. So that was like even more annoying. But honestly, I know it wasn't mentioned, but I think we're at a point where Devil May Cry deserves a guest character.
I'm tired of guest characters and crossovers and everything. I think it's fine without it, but I get it.
No, that's because you play a bunch of fucking fighting games. But once you leave fighting games, the concept of a guest character is a legitimate miracle, let alone anything else. So, I know the obvious choice is she who don't even need to be introduced. We all know who the obvious choice is. But I want something more original. And by original, no, I don't mean 2B, because that shit ain't original. My God, she's in like 25 games? But I would like to see somebody from Capcom's library just be a guest character. Like, imagine if Strider was in a Devil May Cry game. You know how crazy that'd be for Strider?
You know who I would want? If we're going down this route, if you're saying Capcom, you know who would make sense? Say Hideki Kamiya was involved in this? Hey, Beautiful Joe, what are you doing here? Oh, right, they exist in the same universe. No, he doesn't. Make him small. Make him fight because he's... I think he can work.
If you have the DMC characters going into Joe, they become chibi. If you get the Joe characters coming into DMC, they get like full size. But yeah, he's just a Power Ranger.
Oh yeah, you're right.
His unique ability set has never existed outside of the Beautiful Joe franchise. We don't have any action games where you can trigger slow motion to actually affect the environment and how you fight. Super speed to infect the environment. We got him on how you fight. That goes without saying. Or zooming in to change your stance and fighting style and how you do impact. Bro, Beautiful Joe, if he was put in a Devil May Cry setting, or if there was a beat 'em up where you functioned like Beautiful Joe does in the modern era, that would be insane. Like, that's actually a game I would like to try to make. I already had Hi-Fi Rush stolen from me. I already had Disco is Dead stolen from me. No, the people who made these games didn't actually steal anything from me. But I had those exact same ideas, damn near to the point where even one of the characters looks alike, over 10 years ago. So I'm happy for them. I'm envious as fuck, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm happy for them. But the only one left is, what if Beautiful Joe was in a 3D action game setting? And don't nobody yell out, you just jinx yourself, because I will hate you forever. But yeah, with that being said, since it's your first time, Black Ace, we're going to give you the honor of making a closing statement. Go ahead and say whatever you want, plug whatever you want.
All right, yeah, fall Black Ace cosplay, blah blah blah. But in terms of like the discussion, it was a great discussion. We discussed, hey, what can save the game, what can kill the game, that level design can be ambiguous, it could be repetitive. They don't need to borrow and copy from Dante's Inferno and all that stuff. We have discussed the mini games. Leave it to your own discretion, viewers. But I want a fishing mini game. Fishing mini games are fun. But yeah, this overall podcast discussion was great. I say we got a lot of good points.
See, that just really makes me think, what the fuck would a demon fish even look like?
An angler.
I shouldn't have.
True.
He put some thought into that shit. That's hilarious.
Man, just tune up Dredge. Like, they already got games for it. They got like 3 different demonic fishing games.
Look, I got off of Demonic Fish and Ninja Gaiden. I don't know if anybody has played Ninja Gaiden 1 or Ninja Gaiden 2, but nothing can kill you like the demon fish in Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2. Them bitches come at you like slow motion bullets, and the worst part is they purposely put you in an infinite stun lock so the next guy can bite you and the next guy can bite you, and they can literally bite you to death. Not because you aren't paying attention, but because you're not out of fucking stun lock. So when daddy gets in, he got to make sure mama gets in. Then mama makes sure her little brother gets in. Then she makes sure her cousin twice removed from the family gets in. Then the step family got to get in. It was fucking annoying. And they literally come in a line. So you can literally calculate in real time which fish is going to actually kill you. Because God forbid that they put you in a down state and they fly through you. Nope. You just in an infinite stun lock loop. It's the video game equivalent of when someone can throw you before you can react in Street Fighter. Something they somehow haven't fixed in 30 years' time, but we're not gonna go there.
Oh man, I love gambling in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, that is a perfect analogy for a fucking game. I swear to God though, man. Tifa's limit breaks, man, they better look fucking nice. In Street Fighter 6. Alright, with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one, and as always, I had a good time. In Black Ace, like I said, if you ever want to be a regular on our show, we got a whole entire Discord group. You can suggest topics and we can talk about whatever, and we got no problem with it. And now that we know that you're 2 hours behind pretty much everybody else because we're on the other side of the country, we got no problem trying to play keep up. And feel free to add anybody here. I can personally vouch that everybody here is pretty much on the up and up.
Thank you, Ala. I appreciate the invite. I'll look into it.
All right, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.